Let's turn this simple animation into a grungy textured title using After Effects and Grunge Lab. So here we have a clean, smooth animation. Let's add more grunge feel to it. First, I'll add the Posterize Time effect to reduce the frame rate. Let's set it to 15. Let me do a preview. So far so good, it already looks much better. Now let's add a texture to the background. Grunge Lab has a ton of great grunge textures to choose from. Let's apply this paper texture here. I'll place it on the background. Let's open it and get a look. It's moving way too fast, so I'll select the controller layer and set the frame hold to 5. That's much better. Let's go back to the text composition. I'll add a tint effect to the texture, set the black color to white, and bring the amount of tint down to 75 to make the texture lighter. Now, let's add another one for the text. This one looks pretty good. I'll set the frame hold to 5 again for a slower animation. Great. Let's go back to the text composition. I'll turn off the texture layer, move it to the bottom, select the text layer, and add the set matte effect. I'll choose the new texture, then set it to Effects and Masks, then Luminance, and now the texture is applied on top of the text, adding more grunge to it. Let's add a levels effect to the texture to add more contrast. Let's get a quick look. Great, it's looking better and better. Now let's select the text layer and add the turbulent displace effect to roughen up the edges. I'll set the amount to 10 and the size to 5. If I zoom in, we can see a little distortion on the edges. Let's place the effect before Set Matte. Now let's add a dust texture. Grunge Lab has a lot of great dust textures to choose from. Let's go with this one. I'll open it up and set the frame hold to 5 again. Perfect. Let's go back to the text composition. I'll add an invert effect to make the dust particles black. Then set the blending mode to multiply. It's a bit too strong, so let's bring the opacity down to 25. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, perfect. Next, I'll add an adjustment layer, name it Flicker, and add the exposure effect. Alt-click on the exposure stopwatch and type wiggle parenthesis 5,0.3. This gives us a subtle light flicker. Now let's add some aberrations. I'll duplicate the flicker layer, rename it to Aberrations, remove the exposure effect, and add a tint effect. I'll change the black to fuchsia and the white to a light blue. Then I'll add the emboss effect. I'll set the direction to 90 degrees and the contrast to 50. Finally, I'll change the blending mode to hard light, and that gives us a nice chromatic aberration effect. Let's duplicate the flicker layer one more time. I'll rename it to Noise, remove the exposure effect, and add the noise effect. I'll set it to around 6. So let's see what we've got. This looks really cool, and it took just a few minutes to get there. If you want to try Grunge Lab yourself, the link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and happy creating!